That's right. Welcome to another Agro-Buzz, a weekly agricultural program right here on Doreen's Coffee Break. And I must thank all the people who have been showing so much interest in the program, so much interest in the future of agriculture. Now, as we continue to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening in the agricultural sector, we turn the spotlight this week on the Fisheries Division of the Ministry. Now, there are several things happening in that division this month. The signing of a sea cucumber research agreement, the beginning of the lobster close season, and just last week, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries completed testing of drones for the surveillance of Jamaica's fishing territory. Now, the drone pilot project was made possible through the contribution of a number of stakeholders in the fishing industry. And observing the final test flights last Thursday, Minister of State for Agriculture, Labour and Social Security, the Honourable Luther Buchanan, who has direct responsibility for the fisheries portfolio, said surveillance by the drones would aid Jamaica to maximise the true potential of its fisheries industry. Now, Minister Buchanan also told the fisher folk at the Middle Keys and Pedro Keys that the drones would aid in rescue missions. In light of the various challenges on the Keys, the State Minister explained that the use of the drones would help to make fishing more sustainable and counteract poaching from illegal fishing foreign fishers. Now, he urged the fishers to give their full cooperation to ensure the environmental sustainability and viability of the Pedro Keys. Now, to tell us more about this sea cucumber and the lobster close season is Mr. Andre Kong, Director of Fisheries. Good morning to you, Mr. Kong.
Good morning to you, Doreen.
First question, what are sea cucumbers, please?
Cucumbers are actually a cousin. They're related to the sea egg, starfish.
Okay.
But they're cylindrical, elongated and cylindrical, and most people call it sea. But it's the shape like a sea cucumber.
Okay.
So we have these animals that on the bottom of the ocean. They actually are analogous to earthworms, because they actually eat the mud and the sand and take all organic matter from them and kind of recycle it. They bring it up from the bottom, bring it up to the top, so the rest of the wildlife under the water can have access to this nutrient.
Okay, people don't eat the sea cucumbers, though?
Well, they are an influx of Asians from China and rest of Asia coming in, and this is a popular exotic meal for them. This is something eaten in Asia for over 1,000 years.
I hear you.
But they overfish their region, so they come into Jamaica and the Caribbean.
All right, I see. All right, Mr. Conner, why do we close the lobster season annually?
Well, what we're trying to do is to give the lobsters a chance to reproduce. Lobsters actually spawn year-round, but you have some peak time, and this is one of the peak times that most of them spawn based on our research. It's actually 4 months now, April, May, June, July, and we have strategically just closed it for 3 months first, with the intent to go to 4 if necessary, but this has been happening for years, and based on how our officials are treating the lobster population, we perhaps need to go to 4, but and there are other things as well. But at this time, around this time, this is when the lobsters spawn.
Okay, so what is the procedure involved in closing and regulating the industry?
We just had an association that happens every year, and that have them, by law, have to declare the amount of lobster that their possession. You see, it makes sense, So you can fish up to 12 midnight, up to 12 midnight, the day before, the first day of the boat, by law. So you have to declare the amount that you have. We come and we inspect and we give you a certificate. Now, between April 1st and April 21, you can process it, you can sell it, you can have it. After April 21, that's between April 22 to June 30th, you're not supposed to have it in your possession at all.
Okay.
All are part of it. Unless you're a licensed fisher and you can get authorization from the minister to keep it. What you have is a situation where you have exporters. They might have 20,000, 30,000 lobster years, that's millions of dollars.
Yes.
And anything can happen. And they'll be left with this amount of lobster. Now, what we are saying is that wasting it, we will put a mechanism in place to allow you to keep it. But guess what? You can't touch it.
Okay.
And there are 3 organizations, Fisheries Division, the Veterinary Services Division of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, and the Customs Department, our Customs Agency, because it's an agency, our agency will come together and customs will seal it with a custom seal, you know, like you have a bonded warehouse.
Yes.
So it's actually not here.
Okay.
So you can't break the seal. So we have that mechanism in place. But if you get this authorization to keep it during April 2022 to June 30th, you have it here stored in an authorized place, and you can't touch it at all until the close season ends, and then you can open it.
Okay, so if somebody come into your restaurant and say, I'd like a buttered lobster, you're supposed to say you cannot serve it because the season is good.
One important thing for that, we could be increasing the fines very soon. Right now, as we stand, the fine for that is like $500.
Okay.
But we are going to increase maximum fine in the region of $3 million. So we're talking about $1 million fine now.
Wow.
And that's coming very, very soon. So let everybody please understand it. And the last thing I want to understand, keeps to understand is that we're protecting the lobsters to protect Jamaica and Jamaicans. That's what we are trying to do.
Now, I understand that we export lobsters. Where do we export it to?
Well, we export it to the European Union, we export it to the United States and other places. But largely, I think most of our exporters are focusing on, of course, in Asia. So we have exported some live lobsters to Asia. But most of the exporters are focusing on the European Union, which is where the most lucrative market is now for the processed lobsters. The lobsters, again, is lucrative, but we are developing that market. We export an average somewhere around 350 metric tons, which is somewhere in the region of about 700,000, over 700, just under 800,000 pounds.
Wow.
And that's valued at, on average, because it changes, right?
Yes.
On average, it's about 12 million US a year.
Wow. Is that our lobsters are bigger and nicer?
No, but it's really a spiny lobster. It's actually a marine grape. It's not real lobster. Two lobsters have claws. I don't know if you ever see the pictures that was come out of temperate waters. But it's highly sought after. We have red lobster in the United States and many places.
Mr. Khan, I said because ours is nicer and bigger and sweeter,
Well, Jamaica have an edge, we have a brand name,
Yes.
We have a brand name. But something, unfortunately, the poachers, them take even more than we.
Oh, boy.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, boy.
Foreign, So we lose billions of dollars every year because of the poaching thing.
All right, very quickly. The study back to the sea cucumber industry. I say your study is now on the way. Tell us about that.
Well, we have been studying before. We have a partnership with a company called BND Frauding. We gave them a research license. They studied it for a couple of years. We got some information. We worked with the University of the West Indies, with NEPA. Also, we got some information. But we're trying to do a larger comprehensive study. And we have done the approach FAO for assistance. But the FAO is providing somewhere in the region of 280,000, I think about 288,000 US dollars. But there's a Jamaican component, which is somewhere in the region of 150.
Okay.
So it's a private, public, intergovernmental partnership because we have private sector companies in Jamaica that is working with us.
Yes.
So the Fisheries Management and Development Fund also contributes to the total amount in the region, 440,000 US dollars. And it's more, really more, but in terms of the money that I can identify at this juncture.
Yes.
So what we have is a grand partnership where we're going to be working with international consultants from FAO, looking at the cucumber stuff on the island shelf. We're going to start out with the western part first, as well as on Pedro Bank.
Okay.
So we're going to focus mostly on Pedro Bank. And also, we are going to explore the possibility of culturing them in Jamaica.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Andre Kong, Director of Fisheries in the Ministry of Agriculture, and I will listen out more about these sea cucumbers, and remember, no lobster right now until the close season is over. Thank you so much, Mr. Kong.
Thank you.
All right. Now, to say that Jamaica's waters are among the most overfished in the region, and we import a lot of fish we eat. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is aiming to ensure that we produce more fish and other seafood from our own resources so that we can produce what we eat and eat what we grow. Remember, you can play your part by growing what we eat and eating what we grow. And don't forget to visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries website at www.moa.gov.jm for information on its many plans and programs.
us astray. Eat what we grow.